the storyline behind Turok is you play the character Joseph Turok, who's a Black Ops commando. About 200 years in the future, you've just joined up with a new company, whiskey company, that had been sent on a mission to take down a military renegade named Roland Kane. And it was taking him and his army to an alien planet. Yeah, there was a lot of excitement on the team to come back to Turok. A lot of people who played the original N64, myself included, that was sort of remembered as one of those seminal events on the console, that you're really coming in and saying, oh, this is what a shooter should be on the console. Flip that coin over, we have much more expectations that we have to fulfill to get that next-gen gameplay. We can't just put down a fog wall right in front of the clipping plane and to have noises off in the background that aren't real dinosaurs. We need the player to be able to really explore a deep, dark jungle and know that out there amongst the trees and the bushes there are ferocious predators that if you disturb them will hunt you and track you down and attack you. And the obvious thing is the jungle becomes part of the gameplay through its visuals, right? It has to be an awe-inspiring thing to look at, to move through. It's got to be varied. And overwhelm you with how alien and hostile it can be. You can watch dinosaurs stealing eggs out of each other's nests. You can watch dinosaurs hunting each other or grazing harmlessly on the grass as you move through it. And on your side, it's, can I stay concealed? Can I run down the center of this area and just use speed to get past some stuff that might not notice me? Can I be careful about splashing noisily through puddles or noisily reloading my weaponry right where an enemy patrol could hear, or worse, where a raptor that's happily feeding on its prey suddenly realizes there's something else to eat out there. You can take your time to stay quiet and to get in amongst the trees and to go around an encounter. You can take the time to set up a trap where you can lure dinosaurs down onto an enemy patrol. You can rely on your ability as a shooter to blast your way through the enemy and out the other side so quickly that you're through and gone before the rest of the jungle wakes up to your presence. It's up to you. One of the challenges we had actually was that we have to cover a broad range of different encounter types, from sort of basic military conflict where you're coming in with a lot of machine gun fire, close range, shotgun fire, grenades, stuff like that. We also have, of course, incredibly large opponents and some of the dinosaurs that come after you and some of the equipment that the enemy soldiers use on you, that to be effective against in any way, you have to have incredibly explosive, incredibly damaging equipment that will be able to deal with those opponents. Because it's an open environment, we wanted to make sure that all of the other creatures and opponents that you're coming across really respond realistically to each other. And one of the things you can do is turn them against each other. If there's a heavily guarded gate to an enemy military installation or something like that that you don't necessarily want to punch your way through and sound the alarm, you can attract a pack of dinosaurs into that courtyard in front of it. They're going to create such havoc that you might be able to use that opportunity to stealth through and get to the other side. Dinosaurs are very, very attracted to bright, shiny objects. So using your military flares to catch their attention is one way to yank their attention over to some other area. The thing that really makes the dinosaurs into a terrifying opponent is the fact that these creatures that outweigh you sometimes by tons, certainly by hundreds of pounds, even in the smaller dinosaurs, are trying to leap on you and tear you to pieces. And we needed a engaging, violent, visually very satisfying combat system for melee. And as a first-person shooter, you're always very, very challenged to make that melee combat stand out. What we decided to do is to give you the weapon of the military knife, right, the commando knife, and make it into one of the premier melee experiences that we possibly could. And so we've instituted a system where when the dinosaurs get on you, or you can get on the dinosaurs, or you can use as enemy soldiers, and you want to wield the knife, we give you a full repertoire of these close-up strategic tactical moves that allow you to just land fatal attacks on your enemies. Of course, now your enemies have those abilities to land those on you too, and you have to fight from that position with the knife to make your way out of it. It's a cinematic event. It's right up close and personal. You can feel that dinosaur breath on your face as it's got you down on the ground and it's gouging at you, and you got your knife out and you're just trying to hack it off of you to stun it or hurt it enough to push it back off of you and get back to your feet. It's a decision the player has to make that's a very daring decision, where I'm close enough to this massive, terrifying, killing machine, and yet I'm going to whip out my knife and leap in there for the killing blow, the one that's going to drive this thing to the ground and let me move on. If I can distract the dino, distract the enemy soldier, if I can stun it for some of the larger creatures, if I can knock it down with an explosion from a grenade, if I'm brave enough to whip out the knife and to run in there and to time it correctly, I'm going to get rewarded by this cinematic finishing melee combat, where as a player I'm guiding the knife into the finishing blow on the dinosaur and watching it die.
Stink.